Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, whiskey, if you're still there. Sorry. Hope you're still there, whiskey. Sorry about that. Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Mark, what's going on? My third video this morning. I screwed up the first one, got the second one together right, and then people started coming in towards the tail end, and I had to finish off. I really need to learn how to do videos. uh, I'm good. I'm okay. Book sales have stopped, but I'm good. I was just doing a yeah, I know. I was just doing an update to for July planting. A lot of people don't think about end of July what can be planted. So if you got your copy of the book, go over and listen to that. It's 10 minutes. Um, right. Well, it's a solid 10 minutes. Just right. It's a whole list. So page 98. Yeah, page 98 is blank. So it's like a 1 through 10, 1 through 12 of just added information to write in on that blank page um, for your July planting. It's just um, I'm not even sure I did that right. I may have to do it again. It's just one of those days. My brain's going 1,000 miles a minute. Um, Another channel has popped up that I wasn't expecting. That's enthralled with their garden this year because they followed the guidelines, and they're going to do a results video. Um, like Jerry did one. Somebody else is going to do one. Um, and other people are starting to pop up wanting to do videos, and it's like I don't know. I we may be in a world here on YouTube. Um, they'd rather be playing Xbox and not thinking about it. I've got a couple of weird neighbors like that. They uh, they couldn't care less about what their yard looks like. Um, I mean, legitimately huge flower beds that could be incredible and well planted and what have you that are nothing but wilderness. They just don't care. They don't whatever. Um, so it's kind of like I'm kind of stuck in that gap world here on YouTube. Um, and other people are like, well, why don't you buy sales space on Facebook or get involved in this or get involved in that or get involved in the other? It's like you don't understand. These are all great suggestions and what have you, but I just spent $16,000 getting the book together that I haven't recovered that money from. I can't invest anymore. I can invest my free time. I can't invest anymore. Um, I've just gone too far with it. Um, and I don't know. I legitimately don't think people um, understand this is not a normal book. And anyone that reads the book sits back and goes, this was a great book. This is not normal. It's not like reading a textbook. This was fun to read. I get that from everybody. I get that feedback all the time. But people they pick up a book, they see a book, and they go, "Oh God, it's a book. I don't want to read a book." They don't understand. It's like reading a sitcom. It's actually funny at my expense. Um, they don't realize the amount of money I wasted learning this stuff the hard way. So why you could spend a couple of bucks and buy a book and legitimately save yourself $20,000 worth of mistakes just by reading a sitcom because it's funny. Right, right, right. Because, oh, that was something else I meant to mention in this. You know, man. God, I am this last video is just terrible. I forgot something else. You just reminded me of it. Um, oh, it's barbecue season time. I know, I know, I know. I just wrote it down. It's barbecue season time. We're not talking matchlight stuff, but we're talking about fire pits and this and that, and burning up the waste and burning up. Get those ashes in the damn garden. Oh my God. And sometimes people need to be reminded of this kind of stuff. They throw the stuff away and they don't think about, oh man, you know, uh, I have a gentleman in Texas that's fighting a water issue, and it's really really hurting his Bermuda, and it's like, dude, you've got too much water. You're in a low spot in your yard, and did you check the acid level? Did your neighbor spray anything? Did this happen? Did that happen? What have you? Um, and I told him, I'm like, look, first off, let's deal with the water and let's get that aerated and let's get the salt in and what have you. But and it just totally escaped me to make sure he got that neutralizer down, because that's what ashes will do. They'll neutralize and bring things back to level. Um, get those ashes throughout the garden. Any place that you think you have a high pH level, get those ashes over there. Don't waste a resource. Mother Nature gave us these things for great reasons. Um, and some of the plants that are growing are going to acidify the soil. This is the ashes. Get those bonfires going. Um, it neutralizes it. It'll bring it back to fives. It'll bring it 5 to 7, so it'll keep it safe. Um, and of course, it remineralizes. It adds more minerals to wherever you dump those ashes. So your flower beds for your wife, keep them neutral, keep them safe, get the minerals in, mix that into uh, the wood mulch. We talked about that. It's a neutralizer. So if that stuff is bleeding, and I know it is if it's got color to it, this is one of those things that you can use to help protect the soil and the food web underneath. Dump ashes all over it. And I know it'll drive her bonkers until it rains. You can water it in, which is the safest way. What I say is either take a pitchfork or a shovel, crack the soil, go all the way around the bed. Don't hurt any of the plants, but crack the soil open, dump the ashes, and then water that in. And then rake it again to get all the fancy color up to make it look like you did a massive job in her garden or in her flower bed to try and help out. It'll bring it vibrantly back to life. When it's bullshit, bullshit. Just um, did you catch the one the other day about the aspirin and tricking your tomatoes into thinking they're being attacked and getting the better flavors? Okay. No, no, no. Flower beds. If you have a burning situation in your grass, uh, dogs or uh, something ran off from something, rust, a bucket sitting somewhere rusting, um, or your neighbor, God forbid, your neighbor's into chemicals and it's washing along your grass line and you're starting to see a burning and a discoloration in your grass. Um, It's a great neutralizer. Run the ashes along that line. Otherwise, no, flower beds and gardens specific. Get those minerals, get that stuff back in, and pine sap, the toxins in pine sap burn off. So you can burn like a obviously because of there's reasons not to burn pine in a chimney, what have you, blah 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 blah. But for bonfires and for cleaning up, pine and pine needles and what have you, burn them suckers. Because once you get rid of the sap and once you burn off that one specific toxin that it's dangerous for, oh, we can fix that, Mark. We can fix that in any that's I can fix that. Um, but once you burn off all the stuff in pine, so when they all tell you, oh, pine's bad to burn, especially the needles, da 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 da. No, because you're turning it to ash and you can utilize the ash. You should not use pine and pine needles when you're burying stuff in your yard to bring up the fertility and to mulch pile and what have you. Granted. But if you burn pine in a fire pit, you have usable ashes. So, um, but grass is a simple one. Get the one for your temperate zone. And again, this is I talked about this in another video. Having one specific type of grass entirely around your yard, you can't, because if anywhere you cast a shadow, you need a different type of grass. Anywhere you cast direct sunlight all day long, you need a different type of grass. So the idea that you're going to have one specific type of grass for the rest of your life because you came in and planted that the entire yard it's a myth. It can't work because some grasses prefer sun, some prefer sun and shade, some prefer specifically shade, and that's what you're going to get stuck with. Um, See, I like my Kentucky bluegrass for that because it'll vary, um, and you don't, as long as you're following the system, you're not fighting anything. The thing about Kentucky bluegrass is that's one of those burn early grasses, and I know that sounds wrong. Cut it short the beginning of the season. So watch for it to start growing. Anything over 52-ish, 53, watch for it to start growing and cut that stuff short. I know it looks like it burns it, but what you're doing is you're taking what they call the crown, and you're shortening the crown, and then you'll get the green leaf off the top of the crown. Most of the time when we're doing Kentucky bluegrass, we cut that stuff at 3.5, 4 inches, but we also have a longer crown. If you shorten the crown at the beginning of the season, you cause the roots to spread out more and grab more soil, grab more ground. Okay. It goes deeper as the soil opens up and it penetrates deeper and it gives you the shorter crown. You can cut it shorter, but you want to slowly rise all year. So work it up notch by notch once a month until you get into fall. Of course, then you're building your mulch bed, which is great for fall because you want to protect from frost. You want to protect the crown, basically. But Kentucky bluegrass, along with a few others, not Bermuda. Bermuda spreads out slow anyways, but it spreads out across the top and roots itself. It's like a viney grass. Each one's got to be treated just a little bit differently. That's why I say in the book, these are recommendations depending on where your zone is and what you're doing and how it dictates what type of grass you cut, how you cut it, what you want it to do. In your case, you're looking for grass to spread out without spending a fortune. Right. So in your shade areas, get yourself a small bag of Kentucky bluegrass. Get it penetrated into the soil. Don't listen to this mythology of, well, just scrape the soil a little bit and then put the seed in and then cover it with all this gobbledygook. No, no. Bury the seed about an inch in the soil, a lot of it. Get it into the soil, aerate it into the soil, whatever you want to do. Get it in there and get it in with some Epsom salt. Get it in there with alfalfa pellets and aerate it into the soil. Push it down into the soil. That way you don't have to worry about hay. You don't have to worry about the birds coming to get it. You don't have to worry about this, that, or the other. You got to watch the watering the first 2 weeks. It's like every other day, you want to make sure you get it watered. That's about it. Once you get that section started, when you go to the next season and you cut that stuff super short, it spreads out. So the roots are going to go deeper and they're going to spread out. So that little patch that you started with very cheaply is going to double itself. Again, cut the crown short, cause it to spread. Don't do that all season like some other people I know. They burn out the Kentucky and they allow in other forms of grass, which people call weeds. But they're not. They're just, that's what you cause to happen. As Kentucky bluegrass grows taller and thicker and richer, it doesn't allow other weeds in. It'll choke them out. Okay, like crabgrass, it'll automatically choke it out. It won't give it room to grow. But when you start in the early summer, cut that crown down, early spring, and you cut that crown down, it'll pay you. It'll pay you back in spades. So a cheap bag of Kentucky bluegrass can be made into an entire yard in just a season or two. It's really great stuff. Yeah, yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. If you're treating your soil now with the weed and feed that I recommend, that's a 6 to 8 week. So if you were to actually go right at your last fall and put your weed and feed down, saturate the yard, this yellow film all around the area, and let that soak in, aerate it in, wash it in, do whatever. Get it in contact with the weed seed. Give it 8 weeks to the day, and then go do this Kentucky bluegrass trick. As soon as that grass starts popping up, I know you're going to have other weed seed. Other weed seed takes different. The more aeration you do, the more whatever. Your first year, give or take, I would weed and feed probably 3 times throughout the season. So early spring, midsummer, and fall. It's in the book. I'm trying to avoid what it's actually called because I, got to sell the book. I've got to make up $16,000. I got to sell the book. What I call weed and feed, it's available in big box stores under different names. But as soon as you leaf through the book, you'll see it. Give me just a second. It's this page 21. Page 25. Page 25. 3 times first season, 2 times the second season. Then you're going to want to do it like once a year when you see the dandelion weeds floating. That's the baby. That's the baby right there towards the bottom of the page. That's the baby I'm talking about. I think they're all explained on the next page for all the different names it comes under, but it's all the same thing. So you can get it everywhere. Cover the yard. Knock out those seeds. If you had an established garden and you fought a bunch of weeds, I would say if you're going to garden and you're not going to garden from seed, that I would go through every 6 weeks in an established garden where you were taking plants in and planting the plant. And every 6 weeks, I would put that stuff down in that garden bed. Because remember, it becomes nitrogen. After 8 weeks, it becomes a natural nitrogen and it feeds the plants. So not only are you saturating your garden bed and your garden soil with that stuff, you're attacking a massive blast attack of weed seed killer and bring that garden back. Prep and it, I mean, the nitrogen levels will spike. It's incredible. It's really good. Flower beds. Before you put any of the wife's mulch down, soak it in this stuff. Put a nice solid coat of this on. Let it sit overnight. Spray it down in the morning, and then throw your mulch on. They normally most your garden centers are going to tell you, well, that would be preen. No, 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 it's chemical. No, stay away from preen. It doesn't. It's barely a season worth. Barely. Um, you can if you want to mix it. Um, but you actually buried it. So you're actually causing what they call hugelkultur. You're relying on the microbes to break it down without the use of sunlight and air. They say bury branches in there to help create air pockets. Um, well, of course not. Of course not. There's no organic matter in your soil. You're putting organic matter in, but you want to call in the living organic matter. Do your grade molasses. And again, that's in the book. Spray that down with some molasses. Um, your neighbors will love it because it smells like cookies. Um, a couple of drops in the container, the container sprayer, just a couple of drops. Don't go too far, just a little bit, because once the worms start smelling that, they'll head in. But I would throw some branches in there, dead branches from anywhere, logs. If you got weird shaped logs that aren't going to go in the fire pit right, um, hugelkultur, what you just did. Uh, it's a slower breakdown when you put the bigger the log, the longer the breakdown. But it's a continual feed to the soil. It's a continual reason to keep bringing in the life that you're looking for, to call in the worms. Um, it's an oddball one. Got any old milk that might be outdated? Or next time you go by your one of your convenience stores or something, see if they have any they're getting ready to throw out that's expired. Let it sit out in the sun overnight, or a day or so, 24 hours roughly. Let it get good and smelly, and spray the leaves down in that, and then cover it with dirt. That'll bring the worms in. Yeah, buddy, that'll bring the worms in. Actually covered milk usage in the book. That's in there. Milk can be a great advantage to a compost pile. People don't realize that there's a lot of benefits to old milk. Again, that's one of them things. I know it sucks to try and get the nails out. You can burn it and then remove all the nails and then put it in your soil. Um, I know it's it. All right. There's a chemical used on pallets to slow them down from breaking down, to make them stronger. It's like a hardener chemical in a sense, but it's a chemical. You really don't want that in your soils. But one that's been out and sitting for years, that chemical is pretty much done. I give most pallets sitting outside about a 2 year shelf life, and they're worthless. Um, on that third year, that thing's buriable. You can put that back in the soil and get it to start breaking down. Um, Again, you want to accelerate the breakdown of it, though. So you want to add in the sweetener or add in milk or something. Um, that's why a lot of people say you should compost cautiously. You want a larger compost, um, with pallets, you know, because the way they're stacked and the way they're made, they'll contain the leaves while still allowing air and sunlight in. But they'll also break down. So about the fifth year of doing that, the bottom of them are completely rotted out, and this is done, and that's done, and the worms have attacked, and so that's proof. Pallets can be buried. Pallets can be put back in the soil. That can all be reclaimed. You just don't want the nails. Um, yeah, there's a lot you can do here. Well, I think she might have got upset and just took off and went somewhere else. Oh well, all good. At least you're getting your questions answered, so it's all good. So yeah, I'm trying to outreach to other channels. I'm trying to uh, get on more radio stations. A couple of people said they were going to try and help and get me into a couple of radio stations, and then they went quiet. I haven't seen them since. So it depends because everybody's going galvanized now, so they're not breaking down in the soil the same way. Um, so you're better off without galvanized nails. Galvanized nails don't break down. They'll actually, that galvanizing will actually start causing you issues. Um, yeah, when there's a lightning storm or something, they're great. They bring up the nitrogen level. Even a galvanized nail will help there, but not as well as just a piece of copper wire. Um, but that's a different book and a different topic and a different product and a different. I don't even want to go into that. But no, you don't. The galvanized nails that they're now starting to use everywhere for everything, not something you want in the soil. If you could get the old steel 10-penny nails, they're like the old gutter nails, old gutter nails, old roofing nails. Those would be great in the soil. Be great based in the if I were to hand make a garden bed from blank, just for myself, not for one of the test plots or what have you, I would go to like an 80 or 90-year-old home someplace where they were getting ready to roof the place. And I'd go down there with a magnet and I'd pick up as many of those nails as I possibly could. And I would scrape off all the topsoil, potential topsoil, right off to the clay bed. I would apply the salt, and then I would sit down with all those nails and I'd press all those nails down into the clay. And I'd row after row after row after row, as many nails as I could push into that clay as I could get in. And then I would start my process. And I would bury this and bury that, bury whatever, and add some soil, and bury this and bury that, bury whatever, and add some soil, and build my garden bed up on top of that. Because yes, the old iron nails would increase iron content in the soil. Beneficial if it rusts and breaks down. Galvanized nails just won't do it. They won't get picked up by magnets either. Right. Well, you're going to fix that. You're going to fix that. If you read, and I know I've read it twice, and I don't know why they removed the information. I went over and I reclaimed one of raised beds that had not been touched in years. And when I went down, I got maybe, I'll give them the benefit because I know I scraped some off with a rototiller, but I'll say I got at most 8 inches of usable topsoil. And I went through with my method and I laid that down thick, all stages of it, from the alfalfa, the weed seed, the weed and feed, every aspect of it. I put some old brown grass in, alfalfa, and I buried that. And then the next layer, I did it again after I put like 2 inches of soil on top of that because it was all dried out. There were no worms. There was no nothing. And I buried some more, and I buried some more, and then I went through and I sprayed it after the fact. After it was all done and over with, I went through with my spray and I practically tripled what I would normally do and sprayed it down. When I went back 2 weeks later with plants directly from the garden center, tomatoes, peppers, your regular gardening stuff. And I got down on my hands and knees to start burying those in rows and what have you. Saturated with worms, loaded. This year, I haven't done anything with it, but I keep going over and checking the bed. The worm activity is off the charts in that bed that I had worked on last year. So you'll be bringing them back. You'll get that clay to turn back into topsoil. Trust me. Let Mother Nature help you. You'll get it all back. Everything. See, and that's the issue we're dealing with. Like the heat videos, the 3 heat videos I did. As the clay increases, the water runoff increases. We get all this flooding. Clay is just like having a cement parking lot. We have to stop the clayification. We've got to reverse it. We've got to reclaim the topsoil that is now compacted soil, called now clay. We've got to reclaim all of that, or we're going to continue having these heat waves. We're going to continue with these problems. That's what people misunderstand. Anywhere you've got clay, you've got something that's going to heat up and bake and get worse. We've got to get this stuff covered. We've got to reclaim the clay so that it's no longer a parking lot and heating up and causing these massive heat waves. Come on, 90 plus degrees, almost 100 in Cleveland. That's unheard of. That was record breaking this year, and it's going to be worse next year if people don't start following the guide and getting back to nature and getting off the chemicals. It's going to be worse. They're going to just keep dumping water, more water runoff, more heat, more flooding. No, there's chemicals in there. Unknown chemicals in there. Don't No, you can make your own. Why would you? Just like this area right now that you've got all these leaves. If you could rototill, I know that's a lot of work. If you could rototill in top or soil or particles of clay and mix and then spray it with the sweetener, add some more of the leaves, add some more of the soil, mix, spray it, mix, spray it, mix, spray it. Next year, you'd have some incredible topsoil right there that you yourself made, packed full of worms. It's incredible how it works, but you can make your own topsoil right out of the mess that you have by reclaiming all the leaves, by just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and basically what you want to do is you want to do maybe a layer of leaves with maybe an inch of garbage soil, another layer of leaves, an inch of garbage soil, another, and just lay it down in the soil. You don't necessarily need to cover it. You don't necessarily need to do anything with it. Throw in the sweetener with a hint of ammonia. Maybe go back 6 weeks and throw in some weed feed, because you're going to disturb some weeds. Some seeds are going to come up as you do that. You're going to want to knock those out. So put down some weed and feed. Mix it in real well, as deep as you can go in that area, and get it all mixed. Spray it down again. Walk away. You're going to have some incredible topsoil very quickly. You have all the ingredients, natural ingredients. Just tweak it a little bit, and you won't need to go get bags of topsoil from anywhere. You'll be growing your own. Because once you see how well this works the first season, you're not going to want to stop repeating it, because it's super simple. Actually, if you have neighbors that garden a little bit, and you do this without their knowledge, next year when they would normally go get bags of topsoil to add to their garden, don't let them go. Sell them wheelbarrow fulls of your mix, your topsoil. They will thank you profusely, because it'll be so rich and so full of worms. And again, use your sprays. Your sprays will help you immensely to cause that to turn into topsoil in incredible forms that you won't believe. If you can add manures, add them. If you can add milk, add it. If you can throw in some, add it. Because instead of what you would consider a compost pile, you're re-energizing soil and turning it back into topsoil by doing this. If you follow nature's way, you'll turn your whole yard into topsoil without having to do all this labor, just by helping her a little bit with a lot of aeration, driving things into the soil, calling in the worms, calling in this, calling in that. Now understand, you could go to the store, or you could go online, find a vermiculture, VERM, vermiculture supplier, and order in worms and throw them in. When they run into enough edible mass, they breed incredibly fast. So you may order in 1,000 worms and throw them down in these leaves, and then throw a cover on. Don't disturb it past that. Just water it down. That 1,000 worms in a month's time could be as many as 10,000 worms in a month if there's enough food there. Because they're like rats. If there's food, they'll breed. If there's no food, they'll move on. Worms are the same way. If there's nothing to eat, They move on. That's why there's no worms in your yard. You start putting stuff in the soil for them to eat, and the worms will come back and start breeding. That's what's happened in raised bed. They're back and they're still eating the stuff I buried last year. They're going crazy in there, and they're unbelievable how rich that bed is. And he had a 6-inch PVC pipe made up around that against the house to contain the bed. Well, the dirt, that's all I'm going to call it, was dirt, because that's all he had, was always low. Water would always run off around the dang thing. When I went over and checked this year, it had raised 2 inches. That's because the worms are naturally aerating. So it was actually starting to rise up and come up on that. So like a raised bed garden, you're thinking, that looks like it has settled and looks like it has dropped, and you need to bring in bags of topsoil. No, you need to bring in worms, but they need to have food. They'll naturally. There you are. We are all worried about you. Huge discussion about you yesterday, Elegant. Looking for you. You okay? Everything all right? And I actually wanted to drop an email to you, but you showed up. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're doing okay. I just did a July special video. It's 10 minutes. If you get a chance, Elegant, take a look at it. If you have any addition, because I have to remake it. I forgot some stuff. I started taking notes that I was going to put in there. If you have any additions to the list that I gave, let me know. And I'll redo that video. It'd be the third one I've done of that today. Because no sooner did I turn it off and come back on here with Mark than blink, I remembered things I meant to talk about. I totally forgot about. But it's July planting. But yes, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, that's what I told everybody. I'm like, I get it, I understand, but now it's Thursday, so I was that now. Day 4. I'm getting ready to start reaching out to you and go, okay, you're alive, right? You're kicking, and you're uh putting your daughter to work and putting her in her place and what have you, and you're just busy doing that just to confirm. Um, but everybody was asking yesterday. I'm sure you heard Bobby was raided, SWAT team raid, middle of the night. One of the trolls called the sheriff's department and said he had shot his wife. Blah 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 blah. We all know he doesn't have a wife. Thank God he was live streaming at the time. Picker Rick was there, and they walked in and they saw the camera was on. They saw he was live and what have you, and they started talking to Rick, and Rick happened to be on the live stream, so he was able to talk back to him. Said, the man doesn't have a wife. The man's been sitting on this couch for the last hour and a half talking to us. Yeah, you got called out by an internet troll. Right, right. Except this time, Bobby's got his ducks in a row, plus all the paperwork added. Bobby's going after him. These guys are going to get in trouble for this one. Bobby won't let it rest. You know Bobby, once he gets his mind set on something, as long as he don't have to get off that couch, it'll get done. That's why he is the perfect Amazon shopper. Yeah, if you need something found on Amazon, just email Bobby McNutt. He'll go find it for you. That man, he knows Amazon. I don't know if he's up to speed on eBay, but he knows Amazon, boy. When EMTs can't get him out of his house because he's got too many Amazon boxes, that's your man to call. Me too. Me too. Something else happened yesterday too, but I can't talk about it. I just happen to be privileged. So another one of our problem children is going to go away. Um, I'll clue you in on it later. Um, well, she's okay physically. She's here to talk to me. So, mentally, she can't be okay if she's here to hang out with me. I think she comes here for her little bit of mental mess up and feels better about her day. You know, my brain feels normal today. I better go see the wizard. I'm just not going to feel right. Of course, I don't want to say that Elegant is our ringleader and causes this. Please, that's not the case. I was messed up like this long before Elegant, but yeah, when she starts to feel normal and she starts to feel like okay, uh, yeah, I'm starting to feel like I can get out amongst the people once again and really get my world back together. But that's going to be boring and dull. I need a dose of the wizard. That guy's so mental. I'll get screwed up again really quick. I'll be better. I can't help it. I'm the green guy. I've got yard and garden on my mind all the time. My neighbors think I'm nuts. All they ever see me doing is walking around barefoot. It's like you don't understand. I'm actually checking your soil. Um, oh no, I don't drink. I don't drink, Mark. I don't drink. I don't do doctors. Um, the only medication I take because I have spinal damage, ibuprofen, just to cut the edge off the migraine headaches. I use an inversion table to repair the spine and make it repairable. But um, now that's not to say that I'm this Bible thumping virgin kind of. Oh, I never drink, Miss Tessie. I don't drink. That stuff never touches my lips. Oh my goodness. It may touch my lips so I can, but I don't swallow. Because oh no, no, please. You give me a bottle of Yukon Jack, and I'm one happy camper, and we're gonna have a good time. I'll start playing music, getting us in trouble, saying things that even Glenda would slap me for. Well, that would be a good time. But anyways, um, dude, cinnamon. If you got blood pressure issues, I mean, I can holistic medicine. And I know I don't take this channel there very often. Um, and Glenda can tell you she has followed this for the 20 plus years that she's been alive, 30 years she's been alive. Because she's not an old lady. That's good makeup. She uh holistic medicine. I've studied it for years. Um, when my mother died of cancer back when I was 18, um, I lost my mind. It was, I mean, my world was devastated. Um, that the doctors would schedule her for surgery, blah, 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 blah. And then the guy had the audacity to walk into the room with our family standing there and say, well, there's nothing we could do. We were just, actually, we were just going in for experimental purposes to find out what kind of cancer this was and a biopsy it and blah, 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 blah. And I lost my mind. I went after him. I was going to beat the hell out of this guy. Experimental. We've been sitting here for 8 hours during this surgery, so you could just go take a look. You're a dead man. So I went into hardcore into learning more about nature and about this and about that, and to come and find out that cancer was cured 30 years earlier, and we're not allowed to know about it. I was furious. My mother's dead, and I stayed in holistic medicine. So when people start telling me about blood pressure, I take blood pressure medicine. Oh my God, you're killing yourself. Don't do that. You don't need blood pressure medicine, blood thinners, and this, that, and the other. Oh my God, what your doctors aren't telling you. And they say, well, yeah, but your fat count is so high. And right. You know what the problem is? You've run out of selenium. You're born specifically with a certain amount of selenium in your body. It's a mineral. We don't add it to anything. We don't put it in our diet naturally. Selenium is the repair factor and tells all of the good fat, the good saturated, here we go, saturated fats, believe it or not, are healthy. They will clear up brain fog. They will clear up all sorts of different things. The problem is the human body runs out of the amount of selenium it needs. So what does it do? It starts absorbing bone matter. It replaces it with calcium. Bad. You don't want to lose bone mass of your own bones because it's trying to deal with the good saturated fats. We've run out of selenium. Add selenium to your diet. Bacon, good for you. Saturated fat. Chicken skins, saturated fats, good for you. These things will all, I know, look, I got to make the disclaimer. I am not a doctor. These are suggestions for experimental purposes only, because that's this kind of channel. Selenium is the cure for Alzheimer's and brittle bone and blood pressure and amp up your selenium levels, Mark, and don't worry about your diet. Eggs, bacon, sausage, pour it on and add selenium. A lot of it. Well, I have to ask the odd question. And I'm going to go this way instead, okay? Because I was raised properly, unlike today's world. I will ask Mark, let's get you on selenium. I need to know how much you weigh to tell you how much to take. Now, there are two ways you can go about this with the selenium. You can look at coral calcium, because if you're hurting your bone mass because you have less, you also need to add calcium. So, all right, at 160 pounds, under standard selenium, is that calcium or is that selenium? All right, that's calcium. Oh, I don't have my selenium bottle in front of me. 160 pounds. In my the selenium. Do you have it in front of you, Elegant? Do you have your bottle next to you? Can you tell me what the milligram count is per per pill. On coral calcium, Mark, I would be looking at a protective layer first. Um, there's 90 in here. I would take a bottle of coral calcium a month, the first month, and then the second bottle, I would take half. I would cut that in half. Um, for your weight, if you're rebuilding the amount of selenium in your system, I really need to have the bottle. I don't have one in here. For a rebuild on selenium, I would double down. So instead of a recommended dosage of, let's say, 50, I'm guessing 50 milligrams a pill. And every bottle's a little different depending on the manufacturer. I use a very specific one that is made differently from Youngevity, and I'm going to be. I've gotten permission from the owner. Yours are 100. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Awesome, awesome. Because I am a distributor, I have the authorization from Youngevity to discuss any and all of their stuff on my channel, including adding the information to the book that I did not have authorization for before. So this is directly from the owner. Bloomin' Minerals, I can talk about. It is a Youngevity product, right along with CBD product that is now coming out, right along with selenium, right along with blah, 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 blah. I would, and you can go to V4L. I think it's Ron Neitzel, V4L.com. I think. If not, I know somebody. I can get somebody else's link. I can get you set up. Regardless, I would double down. See, because I'm thinking on your side, Elegant, because of the other issue that you're dealing with. But your dietary is there. Your dairy intake is there. You're probably doing some of the wrong things. So in both cases, for both of you, I would say 200 milligrams per meal, 2 pills per meal. So 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 at night. Calcium, I would do the same thing, but I would do calcium in the morning. With the morning meal, I would skip it at lunch. I would do calcium at dinner, and then right before going to bed, I would take 2 more calcium pills, so that your final digestion is calming your stomach down, which stops you from getting up from heartburn, but it also allows a slower absorption rate as you're sleeping. You'll sleep deeper. They say avoid midnight snacks. Well, that's good and it's bad, because as your stomach actually empties out, it goes into a cycle. It causes a higher acidity. It causes a this. It causes a that. So I would be looking at taking coral calcium from Okinawa, Japan, only Okinawa, Japan, right before bed. And let it do its thing, and let it help you sleep, and let it, just uh, But as far as the longevity tablets, yeah, I would be taking 2 every meal, um, because coral calcium is exactly the same as the selenium in a sense, but coral calcium, as much as it's going to be helping the selenium, it's also going to be going where it's supposed to go, and that's to bone mass and rebuilding bones. The selenium is going to go the opposite direction. Not only is it going to be helping with the digestion and this, that, and the other, but it's going to be dealing with the saturated fats, which is going to clear up the mind, clear out the brain fog. People who end up with Alzheimer's have a lack of selenium, period. That's the cure to Alzheimer's. Again, this is dietary suggestions only, YouTube. This is not a medical channel. Um, you will max out on both of these. So, my recommendation, obviously, the older you get, the more you want to stay on a continual. Again, this is my recommendation. This is not a, I'm 52, what I would do, because I can't be giving medical advice. That's a no. Um, I would amp up my calcium twice a year, massive dose twice a year. Selenium, I would massive dose twice a year, but I would also stay on it all year long. So I would double down on what the recommended dose is, which is like 1 tablet per meal. I would double that and burn through a bottle really fast in a month. But then I would drop back and I would do 1 at every meal, or 1 every other meal, or just enough to just kind of hold the system and make sure you're holding a level. And then I blast the system again, and then I back it off again. Because remember, you got to add vitamin C in there too. They kind of counter each other. Calcium and vitamin C, one's a neutralizer, one's a high acidity rate. Cancer survives in an acid-rich atmosphere, can't survive in a calcium-rich atmosphere. Hint, hint, hint. That's why we do coral calcium. So as you blast your system with C to kill off cancer, to stay healthier, you want to neutralize, you increase your calcium. Again, people who are have cancer or have had cancer and have gone through some of these other treatments, they lose bone mass, right? Because the body's naturally trying to stop all of the cancer stuff, and it starts soaking up and bringing in all of the stuff from your bone mass. Coral calcium is the closest one to bone mass. Increase your bone mass, increase your calcium intake, give it something close to what it actually is. The only other one close to the human body, what the human body needs outside of coral calcium, is shark bone, because it's aerated. It's got little itty bitty holes. So if like you broke a bone and had bone missing or crushed or whatever, they would use shark bone to put it in place because it would graft faster. It's closer to the human bone. That's it. There's no other supplements for calcium in your diet. Nothing else works. Milk, nothing. Coral calcium is the closest. But you got to balance the two. You want to blast and blast and blast and blast, because what happens when you overdose? Well, when you're doing holistically, you excrete it. It just flushes out of your system because your body reaches a certain level. The DNA naturally knows you absorb only so much, and then the brain, in communications with the stomach, says, hold it, don't absorb anymore. We've had enough. Excrete it. And out it goes. It will no longer absorb. That's why you blast twice a year, to just keep everything topped off. Oh, yeah. I'd have to, it is Ron Neitzel. I want to say it's v4l.com. Don't quote me to that. I'll look it up, um, and tell you exactly which one it is to get it from my distribution point. Um, I don't get anything for it, so I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me. But I know I should be using my own link. I realize. Um, I'll look it up. I'll find it. I'll find it, Glenda. I'll make sure I've got it. But yeah, they're every time we are marching on the we're having a march. Everybody gets a pink band for this, or a green band for that, or a ribbon for this, or a ribbon for that. We're going to walk for cancer and walk for Alzheimer's and walk for. It's like, you people read a book. Longevity has cured these. They have sued in federal court in Washington, D.C. with the FDA, lawsuits and won. They are allowed to make the certain claims that they make per federal law in the United States. They had to be sued, because they were making these claims. These are the cures for these issues. Dr. Wallach knows what the hell he's doing. People don't understand. They've never even heard the name. And it's like, yeah, because you're not supposed to. They don't want you to know that the cure for Alzheimer's, the cure for cancer, the cure for diabetes, the cure for these things are out there holistically. The cure for diabetes. I can't, without the name directly here in front of me, I can't tell you what the actual name is. It's an oddball name. I'll tell you how to find it, because I don't think we carry it in longevity. I've not looked in years. But there's a distributor in California. He's the only one. He has access to a very specific breed of cinnamon grown on a very specific tree in Russia. He has the ability to sell this, and he does in tablet form. Um, Sweeties helps. Yes, 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 yes. But this particular type of cinnamon, if you overdose on it for 30 days, will cure diabetes. But you have to, uh, oh God, don't, oh, dude, give me 30 days overdosing on this cinnamon. You find it, type in, you can either go to WebMD, or you can just do a basic search. Types of cinnamon. There's 4. The tree grows in 4 places on the planet specifically. 4. There's one in Russia. There's one for cooking. There's one for, I want to say it's baking specifically, and then there's another oddball one that just has the cinnamon flavor, but it has no health benefits. The one in Russia, just read the 4. The one in Russia is the one you want. And when you type in a search on Amazon, you're going to find one distributor selling that specifically. Get the bottle and tell me how many the count is. Basically, what I tell anybody that gets it is, find out how many pills you have in that bottle. You want to take all of them in 30 days. If you've got 100 pills in there, take them all in 30 days. Break it up evenly so you're dosing all day long in cinnamon. That's the secret. Whether it be 100 pills, 90 pills, 150 pills, doesn't matter. Overdose on cinnamon and watch your pancreas come back into where it should be. Now, going back into the longevity system, if you're on the Mighty 90, and then, and that's the Mighty 90 minerals that every human body needs. So there's a very specific recipe for this that Dr. Wallach has come up with. If you're on the Mighty 90 and you do these extras, people that have had knee surgery and they've gone in orthoscopically, with the funny little looking glasses, and they cut out the cartilage and they take this out. They never get it all out. And Dr. Wallach talks about this on his shows. Sports stars, especially basketball stars and what have you, that have had total knee replacements. He stops some of these new stars, puts them on the Mighty 90 at double the dosage for their body weight, and the cartilage grows back. You heard me, grows back, because it wasn't completely gone. So when it is given the food, the Mighty 90 minerals that it actually needs, these things can regrow in the human body. Every joint, every tissue, everything can regrow. Places where they've gone in and done surgery can reheal, and the surgical marks can go away. Things regrow when the body is fed correctly. It's the way the DNA chain is made. We start eliminating all of these things. Perfect example. I'll stop and say good morning, Grizz, but I'll stop because I don't want to turn this into a longevity sermon. But perfect example. You all have watched this and know this. Remember what they used to call football players back at World War II? Leatherheads. They'd play football, they'd have leather pads on and a leather helmet. And these guys took the same blows that our sports players take today. Those guys are still around, still have full mental capacity, and are still doing just fine. Everything is great. On today's diets and in today's world, the body's not capable of protecting itself. We're not getting the minerals that we actually need. So we have to add all this special padding and all of this and all of this and all of that because the brain will jar loose and this will happen and that'll happen and the body can't regenerate itself and it can't repair itself and it can't naturally heal. You can't da 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 da. They've removed all of the minerals from our diet. Your body can't repair itself. You give it the Mighty 90, and your body is capable of amazing things naturally. It's not amazing that the pancreas can come back online and come back to doing what it's supposed to do when you were born. Nobody is born with these issues. Dietarily, though, when you take certain things out of the diet and you eliminate things from the diet, like what the pancreas needs, it'll shut down and not work any longer. You can turn it back on. Just like the thyroid. The thyroid is covered in Powerades and power drinks and sugar and sodium. The instant stopper for the thyroid. Instantly we have obesity. Get rid of all of the junk. Get all of that stuff out of your system. Pour on the iodine. The thyroid comes back to life. People say, but I've had thyroid surgery and they removed my thyroid, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, orthoscopically. It can regrow on the Mighty 90. The human body can do some incredible things, just like Mother Nature can do some incredible things. We have to have what we have to have, just like the soils have to have what they have to have, or they don't do what they're supposed to do. The Mighty 90 is the cure for the human condition that we have created and allowed our government to create. Here comes my tinfoil hat. Get on the Mighty 90, and I know there's a value there. There's a cheaper way to go. I found it. I was on it. I love it. It's awesome. Shot glass a day. Oh my God. If you doubt me, anybody who doubts me, go find a liquid drink called Noni. Noni. a shot glass a day of noni. Yes, it's from Hawaii. So if you're trying to track it down and want to get the right one, it's from Hawaii. It grows on volcanic ash. One shot glass of this every morning. In 2 days, watch how much better you feel. It works that fast. That's just 12. Just 12 of the food groups that we need in one shot glass. Can you imagine what happens when your body has all 90 that it actually requires? Dun, da, da, da. The world turns upside down and you're capable of so much more. But I'll stop because this isn't a longevity sermon. This is just me bullshitting. Because remember, I'm not a doctor. This is just goofing it off because it's not a medical channel. I'm not a licensed practitioner. Yeah, we have a friend that comes on here, Mark, from my Facebook page, Tasha. Um, she's diabetes. Had. She jumped on the cinnamon program per my recommendation. She'll tell you flat out. Oh my God, he fixed it. He fixed it. He knows what he's talking about. Right. Get the right cinnamon and let nature do its thing. But get the one from Russia. That's the cinnamon you actually want. The other cinnamons are good. The baking cinnamon, the cooking cinnamon, the other spice cinnamon, what have you. They're good. Like if you hurt your shoulder and it's painful and you don't want to run to a drug or you don't want to go waste your time with a doctor, what have you. You just need something anti-inflammatory to stop the pain and the swelling. Get a cinnamon stick, stick it in your coffee in the morning. Stir it around and drink your coffee. Yeah, it's going to be cinnamon tasting coffee. It's an anti-inflammatory. It will take the pain away. It will stop the swelling. You're not allowed to know that. But cinnamon only goes to apple cider in the fall. Right, after you fall down. Right. Now, Mother Nature has provided in so many ways. I've researched this stuff. Oh my God, when am I 52? So I've been researching this stuff for over 30 some years. I am very, very, very well versed in it. I'm not a holistic doctor by any means. There's so many things I misunderstand. But with longevity, just get on the Mighty 90. There's a cheap way to do it. There is. There is. There is a cheap way to get involved. You can cure everything. You can fix it all. I don't care what ails you. I don't care what your problems are. You buy it to wait. You take it to his recommendations, Dr. Wallach's recommendations. Life is good. So what's going on, Mr. Grizz? How you been? The Russia, like I said, look it up. Just do a Google search. Ask for how many types of cinnamon there are. In the description, it says one of them is from Russia. When you do a search for that on Amazon, for that specific name on Amazon, he's the only distributor out of California. He's the only one allowed to distribute the stuff. So you're going to get the right one. But just do a Google search for how many types. Ask your phone. Google how many types of cinnamon are available. The one that's from Russia is the one you want. Hey, good morning, sweet girl. And sweet girl, I'm sorry, but $1 billion and a couple of minor boa constrictors. Those are pythons, by the way. Those are not. Those are not dangerous snakes in that picture. We can walk right past those. They are very, very minor snakes. You can follow me, sweet girl. I'll walk in before you, and we can go split the money. Don't mind me if I stop and pick one up, because they're awesome. Grizz, we all know. We all know, buddy. Don't worry about it. We all know this is just one of those things. I don't want to start a fundraiser. Okay, everybody. Um, Mark, what have you? Um, and I do mean to do that today, Mark. So let me make sure I get this done. Um, I don't want to start a fundraiser for you, Grizz, to do the garden and to do the yard, especially after, you know. Oh, damn it! Stir fry. Don't. We're asking a lot. What Grizz has done, everybody, is he has taken a section of his yard that has been ignored and used as a parking lot for years, and he's going to apply the Green Wizard system on a budget. So more so using nature than using my suggestions. So going a slightly different way, hand making a aerator, what have you. And we're going to run a video series uh, for Grizz. He's doing it. I'm whatever. But to show you guys, look, that even on a budget, not following every recommendation in this book, you can get grass in your yard and get an incredible yard and get the good oxygen back and get the worms back and get the this and that and the other. No. Oh, Grizz, my concern, and this is where I want to talk to everybody. My concern in all of this, and this is why I made this statement to you, Grizz, on the stream, and this is why I'll make it to everybody here too, so that they can either get behind it or tell me I'm nuts, whatever. If we can get 300 plus books sold because of your videos, because of you doing this, and obviously the more books we sell, the more people we get behind watching this video and purchasing the book, the more I'll put behind it, obviously. The computing power that you need, the new laptop that you need and you would like to have to be able to do what you're doing, I'll buy it. So 300 books plus. The more books we sell going with your series, and we have to figure out a way to track it. I don't care whether it's the digital format, which is easier for me to track, or it's the other one. I don't care. And you can say no all you want. This is me for you, helping you, because we understand everybody's got issues. I will buy you a new computer, a new laptop to do what you're doing. You're an incredible guy, Grizz, and you need a little bit of help. I'm there to help. That's what I do. I'm the good Samaritan. Yes, I put myself out there for no damn reason and put myself in harm's way all the time. That's why I built my plow truck the way I built it. That's why I do what I do. I have excessive amounts of equipment. I mean, come on. I live on a postage stamp. Why would I need a yard tractor? Duh. Because I do all my neighbors at the same time. When I go out to cut grass, I cut 8 yards at the same time. 8 people's property. Just go out there and get it done because the tractor isn't even warmed up yet. That's what I do. That's who I am. So let me be the good Samaritan. I don't care what you want to say, and I don't care how you want to go about it. We sell 500 books, backing you up, whether they buy them from me directly to get them signed. As long as I see a receipt in email from them, blah, 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 it counts for you. 300 books sold plus. If they want to get you Alienware, I don't care. sell that many books, you'll get an Alienware laptop and have better than I've got. My word to you, because you need a little help. Okay, that's not giving you all the stuff you need to do this yard project. That's replacing your computer. That's all it is. You need some help, and that'll cover you in a whole lot of other areas. And I know a lot of you are going to sit back and go, oh my God, could I use that kind of help? Look, we can do whatever you want to do. I can help every channel and back every channel. And we can do whatever it is. Let's just talk about it and get it done. So, yeah, let's get back on your video there, buddy. I know it's a drone shot, or it's a this, or it's a that, and some narration, but there's your motivation. The more we work on that, and the more we talk about selling your 300 books, the sooner we get you a new laptop. So that's where we'll take that. Another channel. I don't know if he wants me to say anything about it yet or not. Another channel that has my book didn't tell me. And this year he applied the entire method, to my understanding, the entire method to his garden. And he's blown away at what's going on out there and is going to do a video about it. I had no idea he was doing this. So there's a video coming out of how a garden turned around in a year. And the production is off the charts. He'll tell us whatever he's got going on. I don't know what he's got planned. He didn't say. He just announced that he's got a video coming out about the Green Wizard system applied to his garden and how incredible it is. So heads up, another channel is coming out of nowhere with another video about how good this system works. So the only one we have at this point that has said anything and talked about anything is Jerry's Woodworking and Outdoors. And we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. He disappeared and went quiet. Hope he's all right. But his yard results, I expected. I would not want to have to be cutting his grass this year, but again, I love cutting grass, so it don't make any difference to me. So yeah, anybody who's and I know Elegant does a live stream every once in a while, and she announces this kind of stuff. And I know she was waiting for me to get into her channel to introduce me to some of her new people and what have you. But everybody, please get behind Grizz's video and start sending people at that sucker. Oh, I know, sweet girl. I know there's it's all good. Okay, I think I'm totally caught up. Okay, but so that's where we're at. Point everybody at Grizz's channel. I don't have the specific video where we did the first announcement of this getting ready to happen. It's in one of my, because I'm attempting to redo my own channel and get playlists up and get things categorized in a better way. Just like for those of you that didn't catch it, page 98, it's blank. I've given you some more information. I've asked Elegant. I may have to do that over again. So there may be a little bit of added information. It's a 10-minute video talking about what we can plant the end of July and expect. So go listen to that. If you have any additions, let me know. That's just 10 or 11 plants, 12 plants that I have grown myself in July. to get fall harvest. Um, if you have any additions that you want me to toss in there, I'll give you credit for it, and I'll redo the video today. So it's wide open. And again, it's only 10 minutes. I kind of rambled, and I actually missed a couple of steps. A couple of things I wanted to add because it's pepper time. People are worried about the slugs this time of year. And with the conditions we've got, the slugs are unbelievable this year. Very, very simple solution. A pie tin and some beer. End of the slugs. And after that stuff goes stale and goes bad, dump it in the garden because hops is good for the food web. It's great for the food web. Just don't pour fresh beer on a plant or a root. No, no, no. Alcohol and plants don't mix. No, no, no. Don't do that. So yeah, point everybody towards Grizz's, and he didn't even go look for it himself. We'll deal with it. But get behind Grizz's video for this, recreating his yard, and I will buy him a new laptop. But oh God, it's 8:30. I should probably go get something done. Oh, Elegant. Remember the things I planted? No, I can't remember their name. Radishes. And I was asking you about how deep to plant them. And the suggestion on the package on both of them said a ½ inch. It's wrong. That's a suggestion because some of mine are 3 and 4 inches deep and they're coming up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. They're very old packages though, so I'm not going to go by the count. And how many I'm actually getting. They any number of things could have happened to these radishes, so I'm not going to expect every one of them to go. But yeah, the recommendation of a ½ inch for them little radish seeds is bogus. It's a guess. Oh, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. But you want to let the slugs get in there and dehydrate and do their thing. My issue was when I first discovered it around my pepper plants, especially. Well, we did a very specific. It's actually colored green, Mark. The video I'm talking about, and point people towards that video. To try and help sell books. Because if we can get 300 books plus sold, I don't care if they order ebooks. Ebooks would be even better. It's easier to track. I can see the numbers on a daily basis because Amazon will not report anything to me until it's actually been delivered. It must be delivered to the person's door and they acknowledge receipt, or it doesn't register that the book was ever bought. It's really goofy. I don't know why, but the electronic books are instantaneous. So, and we know how everybody believes the grid will never go away and ebooks are going to be here forever. We all know how true that is. And the internet never goes down anywhere, especially Elegant's house. Oh, Elegant, he didn't pay. I got a good one for you. Bobby didn't pay attention to your video about StreamYard and how you can't shut it off. And he went to bed on us yesterday morning after the attack and what have you. And then we went over to Picker Rick's channel to, he did a 16-minute thing about Bobby being raided and what have you, because it was a 16-minute gap that was all recorded because he was live streaming during it. And then when he got off Picker Rick's channel, he left us on the channel. We had to wake him up to come in and turn off StreamYard because he didn't listen to you. He thought it would, YouTube will set it off. I'm not on it. Meanwhile, me and Cliff were still in there an hour later. So Bobby didn't listen to you. Give him hell, lady. But no, what was I saying? Oh, the only problem I have when I go out there and I put the pie tin next to the peppers and then I pour the beer in, my dogs love beer foam. So my dogs instantly go into the garden, knock the fence over, and go into the garden so that they can lap up the beer foam. They love the foam. They don't drink the beer so much, but they love the foam. Um, so yeah, he's right. I don't put a lot of beer in. just I mean, barely enough for a slug to get in contact with, but it attracts them immediately overnight. Um, Bobby don't. Well, yeah. So Bobby didn't listen to you. Get out your bowling, your rolling pin. Smack that boy upside the head. Because yeah, he left us stranded on the channel. We couldn't shut it off. We couldn't do anything. Other people wanted to come up on panel. We couldn't gain access to do anything. We had to wake him up. Oh yeah, well, he did finally do that. He cleaned out all of his mods. Uh, those of us that were there in the beginning, he left us alone. So, sweet girl, you may see that too. Bobby had an issue. Somebody that was off his channel that was still moderated was going back into his old live streams and blocking people off his channel. So rather than try and guess, he did a clean sweep and took the wrenches off, and the problem stopped. So one of the people that was there was going back into old live streams, blocking people from Bobby's channel. I have a feeling I know who it was. And she's moderated on a few of our channels. Bobby's not sure, so we're not going to point fingers, but I got a feeling I know. More word will come out about this later, but yeah, he had to do a clean sweep. So he took out everybody, and as we come back into the live streams, he's adding them back. So don't take it personal. He actually had somebody taking out guests, taking out regular visitors. Um, so it was big. It was a big issue. He went in one day, and the list of people blocked was like one or two, maybe 10 trolls, and went back in the next day, and 5 new people were added to the list, and he hadn't even been on. No, 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 no. So he cleared the whole list. He cleared everybody, and then started going back in and has been putting people back because he just doesn't know who it was. And that's what Elegant was saying. You've got to watch that list. When people disappear for a while, they don't come around your channel for a while, they don't show up for a while. Not you, don't misunderstand. We've been keeping track of you. You're all good. Uh, but Bobby's got to get under the mindset of if they're not coming on my channel and they're not this and they're not that and they're not involved, there's no reason for them to have a wrench if they're not out here. Because you know how Bobby is. He's friends with everybody. He'll help anybody that needs it. He'll do whatever he needs to help anybody. Um, this one kind of snuck up behind him and got him. Oh, we know, sweet. We know. He did everybody. JCT, JT Farmer. He nailed it. He got everybody. He got everybody. And now he's just back on the principle of come in during his stream, what have you, and he'll give it back. He didn't take it from you specifically. He took them all to just make it easier. And now he's putting everything back. Elegant. Only you. You're up the same time he is. He just stays on longer. But I get it. I get it. So, well, tell him as much. If you don't want to have a wrench in his channel because of that, that's a fear for you. Then tell him. Take the wrench away. I don't need it. I get it. Oh, I know. I saw that, sweet girl. You were out swimming with the girls the other day. Awesome. It's the kind of life you need. Wow. Hour and 40 minutes. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, Grizz, I know you were starting to redo the chicken coop or what have you. And I'm sitting here watching that video going, wait a minute, dude. I thought you was going to work on the yard a little bit. Um, um, so yeah, it's a motivational issue. I get it, dude. That's why the property ended up getting that way. But now you got a laptop over your head. So let's chase it on that aspect. We gotta figure out how to get people to let us know whether they email me a copy of the receipt from Amazon, or something. We have to figure out a way to track it. But I'm sure between the two of us we can figure out something. Whether they send a copy to you or send a copy to me so that we can both keep whatever. Let's get you that new laptop. Whether they know that that's what's going on or not doesn't matter. Let's get you that new laptop this year. One way or another. Well, cool. What are you going to be? 22, 23? Oh, wait. No, your daughter's a little older than that. So 35, 36. Listen here, young lady. You just accept it. You're just on your second round. That's all. You're on an anniversary birthday. Oh, cool. Wish I knew exactly. Well, I couldn't go anyways, but I'd join up with you. I'd run down to Kentucky and visit. That'd be a good run. That'd be really hard on my back for the Sportster, but I'd run down and see you guys for a couple of hours and come back. I've done worse than that. Far worse than that for a funeral. What did we spend 23 hours in the car going down to the funeral in Tennessee, stopped for pizza, fueled back up. I think we fueled up 3 times. Went to the funeral, then turned right around and drove all the way back. So we were actually, yeah. So it was like a 25 or 26 hour round trip. I love that kind of driving. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. But that's like people here, in Ohio. They're, well, we're going to make that 16-hour trip, and we're going to drive down to Florida, and we're going to stop 3 times, and probably overnight here, and possibly and I'm like, it's a straight drive. If it's 16 hours, I'll be asleep for 4 or 5 and be back up ready to party. It's a 16-hour drive. What's the issue? Well, you can't sit in a car for 16 hours. Well, then go to sleep. I can. I can stay behind the wheel that long. No problem. Can't you pull that thing behind the tractor? We don't need it to go deep. Put some skids on it so it stops it from going too deep. I haven't seen it, so I don't know how you created it. I don't know what the thing is going to be there, but hell, for that matter, drag it behind your car. Again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what you created to do the aeration. I'm actually really curious, but yeah, you'll figure out something. Heck, I'd like to get make sure you had the salt and the weed and feed. Those are the two key things. The rest kind of iffy, but whatever you got going, Grizz. We'll take care of it one way or the other. I'm sure there's a way. Here's a thought. Since they had the four-wheeler to begin with, Grizz, and they supposedly fixed this issue, and the thing won't stay running long enough to do this, I would get a hold of them, ask them if they have any ideas, see if you can trade them one for a day so that they can take a look at it and borrow one of theirs for a YouTube video. Give them credit for allowing you to borrow it while they're trying to fix the other one and find the last problem, and borrow one of their 4x4s, again giving them credit, and drag the thing behind a different 4x4. Just a thought. I know a couple of the other big channels are doing that. They're getting free rentals, 1 and 2 day rentals, to do things on their property, as long as they commercialize the rental. Just a thought. Just a thought. Get a different 4x4 in there and knock it out real quick. All righty, Elegant. We'll see you later. I'm going to shut this off anyways because it's almost been 2 hours. But please get a chance, go over and watch that 10-minute video and leave any other plants that I may have forgotten or should add to the July planting. Grizz, please do the same thing. What would you plant in July? Go over and take a look at my 10-minute video real quick, and let me know if you would add anything. 320, you did it again. I'm closing the door, and you're the last one in the door. What? Need to hit you with a silly stick. I have been here for nearly 2 hours, and now you're walking in the door. Oh my God. All right, Elegant. We'll see you at your birthday party. Hopefully, I'm still awake when you decide to pop on and have your live stream for it. What's that make it? 6 a.m., 7 a.m. over there? Must be nice, 320. Must be nice. We didn't cover a whole lot today. Actually, the other video that I just popped up, yeah, but I'll bet you he owns one that he'd let you borrow just to do a video if he got a shout out for it. Okay, so it's going on 8 a.m. Okay. We're going on 9. So yeah, you're not too far behind us. The title is July Special 4, page 98. It's a 10-minute video, everybody. Go over and watch that. I'm going to shut this off. Go over and watch that. And if you think I missed a plant, a specific one that you would plant in July for a fall harvest, leave a note, because I missed some other things that I should have put in there. I screwed up. And that's the second video I did this morning for that. So I'm going to do a third one. But yeah, if you have anything you want to add, toss something in there. Alrighty, sweet girl. We'll talk to you. And we'll see you, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go do my one or two things and see if you guys have had a chance to watch that 10-minute video and leave any recommendations for a July planting for fall harvest. I've put in 10 or 12 plants. Well, I can understand that, Chris. I really can. I really can. But this is one of them weird ones. Maybe it'll give you something to just test. Offer to do him a free video. Dude, you never know what he may come up with. He may sneak it over to your property just for you to do this real quick and then take it back to his shop. You never know. You never know. But, all right, everybody, I might get out of here. I'd appreciate any help on the other video that I will be redoing here in about an hour or less. Thank you all for stopping in. Thanks, Mark, for hanging out with me this long. You know where to find me, everybody. You'll see me around the streams. Have a great morning.